For question 9, did your crossover event produce the same gametes as the paper says other lab groups? You're not seeing other lab groups, but compare it to mine. Were your crossing over genotypes the same as mine, or were they different? All right, so the number 10, in what way is crossing over important for sexual reproduction? What does crossing over give? Hopefully you see that crossing over provides the opportunity to have more diverse chromosome arrangements. We get more variation. Do you remember back in evolution where we talked about how populations have variation and it's important for evolution? We need to have all that variability in our offspring so that maybe some variation is going to be able to survive where others wouldn't. So that's really important. This crossing over is one of the ways that we get so much variability in offspring. Last question, question 11. Was there a greater chance to cross over between some pairs of alleles than between others? So, for example, did anybody cut between the A and the B compared to the B and the D? How many people do you think actually cut between A and B? I'm guessing very few, where there was a lot of space between B and D so that you could cut. Probably more likely you were to cut between B and D than between A and B. So for this reason, this actually happens in our chromosomes as well. The farther apart things are on a chromosome, the more likely you are to have a crossover event between those two. If things are really close to each other on a chromosome, they're less likely to have a crossover event just because there's less room. So for this reason, sometimes we'll see different characteristics almost paired with each other. It's called being linked. And these two characteristics will stay closely linked together even though crossing over happens. So hopefully this shows you a little bit hands-on what crossing over is and how it works and why it's so important that it happens in meiosis.